Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing great, whether it be night or day, wherever you are. If you're new, hi, welcome to the channel, and I'm so glad that you can join us today for another story that I wrote, which is actually a fixed audio of a video that I have posted before, but since the audio had a lot of fixing in terms of quality, I also decided to modify and fix the story. As always, links for the music used in this video will be down below, and further announcements will be said after the video. I hope you guys enjoy. It was a simple day, a simple mission. You were only supposed to bring in another villain, and probably snatch up a few criminals who were also snooping and causing trouble around the area. Until, of course, it all went wrong. Hey, you should probably just eat dinner later. I'm kinda gonna have a busy but simple day.
Come back to bed.
You roll your eyes, looking back at the crimson fluff everywhere, as an arm decided to lazily reach out to you. Not everyone is on a day off, bird brain. People always need saving. Keigo's arm wrapped tightly against your waist this time, as a few feathers were sent out to grab your belt away from you and fly it off to the other side of the room.
I need saving too. Can you save me just for today, listener?
He pouted, groggily opening an eye to look at you. He could only glance at your back, but he could tell that you had a deadpan painting your features. With a slight twist of your body, you turned to look at him nuzzling on you. Realms, this was so tempting. I'll take a picture of you right now and post it if you don't stop.
Good then. I'll take you up on that. Then my fans will pay the bills and you won't have to leave me for today.
Keigo, I love you, but...
No buts. I love you too, baby bird.
You chuckled at this. Bird brain, I have to work. You finally gave up, kissing his forehead and stroking his hair slightly. Your smile kind of turned into a yelp when his arms grabbed you, placing your figure on top of him and interlocking his fingers around your back.
I'm not enough? What's gonna make you stay?
You laughed at his antics. Probably an earlier heads up would have been better. You can't just expect me to up and take a leave ASAP when you fly over at midnight telling me that tomorrow's your day off.
But you know how spontaneous I can be.
He pouted, glancing up at the clock overhead. You had enough of this. You were going to run late if he keeps stalling you. You reach back and grab both of his hands, managing to stealthily pry them apart and pin them over him. More like your schedule sucks. Now, I swear I will call if I can come home early, but don't starve yourself, okay? You didn't even manage to hear his grumbles as you ran for your belt and out of the room. If he had a few more minutes to wake up, he'd probably be the one to personally call your agency himself, and you couldn't be bothered for the embarrassment. That seemed like a distant thing now, but you could say that your feet remembered the sudden jolts from this morning as it hit the ground repeatedly. You took off running once more, but this time from a different assailant. You were without a doubt unequipped to handle an ambush of any sorts. Because as it turns out, your mission kind of backfired, and the villains decided to try their luck and get back at you instead. See, you were, and still are, a wild card at the hero agency when they hired you. You were quirkless, but everyone had assumed otherwise, thinking that it was merely your choice not to use it, to belittle them or deem it unnecessary to even bother. It was, of course, a risk for them to accept you, but since Keigo himself recommended you, they had high hopes. Keigo never does this for anyone, but seeing as he had trained you himself, of course he was a doting teacher. After all, a quirkless civilian managing to fend for themselves against armed and quirked men from being mugged at an alley was and still is a formidable feat. And with only the use of pebbles flying around, after seeing this, of course he couldn't help but be intrigued, and he just had to take you in. See, this was backed up by the fact that you had great aim, and that you could wield almost every weapon they had supplied you with ease. Not only on how it was designed to be used, but even modify it to your greater advantage. Truth be told, you didn't really have that much knowledge of all of them, but it just came to you in sort of a second nature. Everyone had even surmised that this could have been your supposedly secret quirk, and no one could just figure it out for sure. Not even you. You were rooting for the other option though, as you were born to quirkless parents and neither really showed the so-called bone structure that quirk people had. This didn't hinder you from still trying out the career nonetheless. Which brings you to the fact that now you had a weapon aimed at another villain, and without hesitation, you fired. As expected, it had marked its intended target just like it always does. This slowed them down effectively, but just by a slight bit. As you continue to run, praying to whatever it was out there, that there would have been already some backup coming your way. Just as the villain was about to blast you, you felt the sudden jolt of someone hooking your arms with theirs and lifting you off the ground. You internally panicked. You weren't equipped to handle mid-air ambushes, plus, if you are to fight and somehow miraculously win, you were sure to not have survived the drop, seeing as it was already high up in a matter of mere seconds. Your panic dissipated as you saw a familiar blonde staring back down at you. You couldn't hear a thing save for the wind gushing in your ears, till he had opted to land on a nearby rooftop.
Well, I gotta say, kid, you kinda look cute looking disheveled like that.
Keigo commented, referring to your messy hair and windblown form. All he could picture you as was a fluffed up bunch of feathers staring back at him with an angry, or at least very annoyed look. You fixed it and decided to give him a playful look before speaking. Still look decent for someone who has just been ambushed. Thanks though. You huffed. Although, you didn't have to come. You were off duty. Keigo rolled his eyes.
Are you kidding me, kid? If I hadn't come... It doesn't matter that I'm off duty. If I could have prevented you from lying on the ground somewhere beaten to a pulp or worse, even dead.
He lectured you with a slight tone of seriousness. Something that you don't really get to see often from the winged hero. I wouldn't have died. Jeez, maybe hurt, sure, maybe, but not dead. He retorted back with a slightly more airy feel to lift up his spirits. I can handle myself, bird brain. He then deadpanned.
Look, I was in bed waiting. I couldn't fall asleep when I suddenly got a call from the agency, saying that you were getting ambushed and needed backup. You can't just expect me to ignore that kid.
He said, even tickling a feather on the side of your face. You caught it, inspecting the red mass, before pointing it back at him as you spoke. Okay, so I did need backup, but I didn't expect you to be the one called up. Sure, you're my partner at work, but you're not supposed to be at work right now.
Kid, did you seriously just downgrade me to being a partner at work? We're married.
He deadpanned. You tried to stifle in your laugh as you were obviously just teasing him at this point. Oh, you want to downgrade? Fine. Teacher then. But, like I said, I would have been fine with it too. Others would have eventually arrived.
Yet they were slow. Is this your way of telling me that you'd rather be married to others?
Hawks raised a brow.
And besides, I don't trust just anyone to protect and support my partner at work.
He grumbled, pulling the feather back to him and smirked teasingly.
I should also teach that tongue of yours what to call me. Although I thought we already established that.
You finally laughed and spoke once more. Okay, fine. Stop being salty, chicken nugget. You teased back, blowing on his nose, which made him involuntarily puff up his wings and shake his head. Ah, yes. You loved his bird qualities indeed. It wasn't even innate, but rather learned over time. He blushed as he simply smiled at you in return.
Someone did their research.
Keigo, we're married. Or would you still rather be demoted to being a partner at work? Ooh, or sensei? He simply lunged at you and tackled you in a hug.
I love you, kid. Anyways, you owe me dinner. How about we go get some chicken at the izakaya? Oh, wait. Idea. Maybe get pizza for takeout. And then a movie on the couch till you pass out again?
You then grinned. That would be nice, but the mission is not done yet. Plus, I have my shift at the coffee shop tomorrow, so I can't stay up late. You sighed. He then pulled out his phone.
Nope, you're not escaping me this time. Look.
He paused, pointing at a live feed on his gadget.
There's already others handling the situation. You're beat and did fine already. Let's go home, kid.
Just then, he received a message from your agency saying that everything has been taken care of. Keigo then grinned as if knowing what the message is already about. How are you always a step further? You joked, asking the winged hero.
Speed's my talent, kid. Now come on, I'm starving. I've been waiting for you at home for hours.
He said, hooking you back in his arms and lifting you once more. I did tell you, eat ahead, but fine, if I get to choose a flavor. You bantered with a smile, to which he replied,
You always do.
You really like this old married couple aesthetic, huh? You added, making him sway you in his hold.
I wouldn't have married you then.
You growled beneath him as he picked you back up to fly once more.
Are you calling me old, bird brain? Put me down. Put me—
You were then cut off as he let you go, screaming bloody murder at him as you fell. He laughed as he dove to pick you back up once more and kiss your forehead as he now held you in his arms instead.
There we go. Aged you a couple more years in those few seconds. We'll be living the old merry life sooner than you'd think.
He joked with a grin. You were pissed, but laughed nonetheless. Realms. What were you going to do with him? Well, you still had a lot of years to find out, and every second was going to be worth it. Now, bloops. You had a weapon aimed at another. Blowing. Oh my. He blushed as you.
Yeah, what up, baby?
I'm hungry. I'm sleepy. These are way too many takes.
Don't forget to follow Matcha. Maybe you'll hear from me in the future.
Okay, so that was it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, as I am posting 2 to 3 times a week. And again, links will be in the description down below, and also my Discord tag in the about page of my YT, so feel free to shoot me a DM if you like, because I'm mostly there. And if you have any original stories that you would like me to read, or maybe links, as long as I am given the permissions as well, or maybe you have requests for some characters or scenarios, I would definitely love to read them if you just give me a DM or post them in the comments down below. Okay, that's really it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated, stay safe, bye!